Update: am I the butthole for keeping track of the outfits my friends wear? Original post: I posted about a week ago, and a brief recap is that I recorded descriptions of the outfits my friends wore over a 3-year period without telling my friends, and, when one of my friends found out, she told the others and was upset. Most of the comments called me the butthole, and I understand where I went wrong now and decided to talk to my friends about it. I asked my friends if I could talk to them, and, over the weekend, when we were all free, we talked over FaceTime and I explained to them why I started keeping track of their outfits, how long I've done it for, and why I kept doing it. I told them that I was sorry for not telling them and didn't realize it would make them upset. I told them I'd delete the information if they'd like and that I'll stop doing it if they want me to. 2 of my close friends on the call said that they understood what I was doing better now. They said they didn't really mind that I was recording their outfits, but they would have liked to know first. I promised to run it by them if I do something I think might bother them in the future. They asked for me to show them my data, which I did, and they asked me to send them a copy because they said they honestly thought it was interesting. My other friend, the one who originally found the data, said that she was a little creeped out by it, but thanked me for explaining. She apologized for reacting so strongly without giving me a chance to explain, and I told her that it's fine and I don't blame her. So, yeah, we're back to getting along now. My friends are great people, and they're a little weird too, which is why we make great friends. I love them, and I'm glad they're so understanding. Thank you very much to everyone who responded to me. I really appreciate your advice and opinions. To the people asking if I have ASD, OCD, etc., I don't know, and I can't get tested for any of these things until I'm an adult because it's not something my parents would approve of. I've been learning what those things are though, but I wouldn't say I have either, as I haven't been formally diagnosed. To the people calling me a serial killer or a stalker, I'm not either of those, but you're free to have your own opinions. To people calling me dishonest, I don't know how to prove to you I'm not. To people who told me they're surprised I have friends, the person who privately messaged me to call me an artard, and the person who privately messaged me to tell me to KLL myself, maybe take a step back and examine your life choices if a stranger's post on Reddit got you this mad. To the people who compared me to Dennis Reynolds and a bed, laughing out loud. That's all for now, but thank you again. Edit: thank you for all of your responses. Also, I'm very sorry if I can't respond to everyone or if it takes me a while to respond. Thank you very much for the awards. Web link. This situation is a great reason why this subreddit exists. You may have originally been TA, but coming here and discussing what you did may have allowed you to take a step back and objectively see what you were doing, and you made attempts to correct your behavior. For that reason, in my opinion, you're not the butthole. People are the butthole if they continue to do weird duty behavior without taking other people's consent or comfort level into consideration. Also, original poster was in the wrong. But wasn't exactly in butthole either. I see where she was coming from, but I would not have wanted her recorded my actions either. It sounds like it was resolved well. She wasn't in butthole, sure. She was the butthole, which by the rules of the sub just means in the wrong. I agree. Just seemed worth emphasizing given the typical meaning of butthole. I mean, if you want to talk about the typical meaning of butthole, you're in the wrong subreddit. I don't. I feel like her rating should have been nah though, because I don't think this even makes her in butthole per se, it was just kind of weird. I feel the same way. Nah was way more justified. This is true, but a lot of the comments on the previous post are doing their damnedest to make her sound like an butthole. Goddamn, the amount of stalkerish comments there is ridiculous. She wasn't recording data to be mean and make fun of her friends, or whatever negative things you can do with data. She was just curious and did what many scientists have done in the past and record her findings. I've literally had to observe unknowing people in some of my anthropology classes and write down what paths they were taking, or how they were talking to people. This is what science is. I'm an artist and get caught staring/watching people all the time. Humans are interesting to observe and I like to doodle or make notes of things I find intriguing or inspiring. It's also great practice. I had a theater projects even I was in HS, so 21 to 22 years ago. Teacher asked us to closely observe someone in our lives for a few weeks, take notes, etc., then create a little skit where we acted as they would, including body movements, voice inflections, quirks, etc. I don't recall having to ask the target for consent, but if not, we should have. Especially because we were portraying them to others in the class. This sub needs a tag for updates that says update, redeemed no longer TA. I agree. The real buttholes are those people that the original poster talks about using private messages to push people to suicide, and to insult people who may be vulnerable. We are all buttholes at times, and need other people to tell us when we are, but there is a huge difference between constructive criticism and hurting people for fun. Being voted the butthole on here doesn't mean you are permanently in a state of buttholery, it just means the actions you're describing are those of an butthole. They were still inadvertently in butthole in the situation they described, but have now rectified things. The response of your friends is beyond wonderful. I'm glad they gave you a chance to explain yourself to them, and bonus, 2 of them were interested in seeing the data. The moment you described in your original post that it was to find out how long it was acceptable to wear one outfit immediately made me think that you might have a different view on life than neurotypical people. Most people think of things like these, but don't go out of their way to actively record data and match it to themselves. I hope that it helped you. It's a technique people on the spectrum often use called masking. It might be informative to look up something about it. Godspeed, and again, your friends are wonderful for giving you the time and space to explain yourself. I'm glad you know these people. It's rare that younger folks are so understanding and open, at least in my time they weren't as much. To the people who harassed you via PM and called you names, you bunch of cowardly bullies. You aren't doing anyone a favor by acting the way you do. Edit. Since my post is getting some attention, I thought I might post this video, which is what led me to seek a diagnosis for my possible ADHD. I have all the things described in the video. If you suspect you might be neurodivergent, there's a variety of tests out there for free. Take more than one, and try to find testimonies of neurodivergent people to compare yourself to. Often, neurodivergence is comorbid, which means you can have more than one disorder, which in turn can make it harder to detect. To complicate things further, disorders represent differently in men and women. I haven't looked into neurodivergence for trans and non-binary people yet, but definitely keep in mind that neurodivergence is, in most cases, a spectrum. You might not have all symptoms or not fit one diagnosis perfectly, but there is help out there. You're not alone, and a lifelong struggle doesn't mean it's all your fault. Godspeed, stay strong, and good luck to all of you. YouTube link. Web link. Well damn, apparently I've been masking all of my life. Never diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the spectrum. Thanks for the link. You're welcome. I've been reading up about the spectrum a bit the last year, and I know how valuable it is when someone sends you something that finally helps you understand something about yourself. Waiting on ADHD diagnosis here. The trick is to never stop learning about yourself. I'm waiting for my ADHD eval 2, booked for October. The official autism diagnosis is unneeded at this point, late 30s, but my ADHD is kicking my butt and I want meds, so I need to get that diagnosed ASAP. It is incredibly common for those on the autism spectrum to cope by using various techniques including masking. When we decided to have my son formally tested at 9, the psychiatrist told me afterwards that she was worried he wouldn't score because he was so adept at masking and scripting until his script ran out, and he had no clue what to do or what she wanted him to do. My 13-year-old niece is most likely on the spectrum but is so adept at masking that my sis is having a hard time getting her diagnosed, not an uncommon issue with females who have ASD. User Wendy's Barbecue. Understand that what you are doing is normal for who you are. Be upfront with your friends, those who are part of your tribe, ask them for help when confused, consider asking your school's guidance counselor or a trusted teacher for help when you need it, and when you no longer have to rely on your parents, consider getting evaluated because it could be life-changing. My sister didn't discover she was dyslexic until she was in law school, and by then she had already graduated from college with a BA in history, a BS in English, an ABA in art history, and a paralegal degree. She can only imagine how much easier her life would have been if she had known sooner. She likely also has autism, but she copes well and is more worried about getting her daughter diagnosed, so she doesn't face the same issues as she has, then proving she also has it. Hang in there and good luck. Reddit link. I'm glad this worked out so well. What great friends. Also, I'm sorry that your parents withhold medical care from you. That's not normal or healthy, and if there are other adults in your life who you trust, you might want to talk to them about that. What's important is that when you realized your actions caused your friends to be upset, you apologized. That's a very mature thing to do. Edit. Forgot to mention, don't listen to people who try to diagnose you psychologically on Reddit. Most people just regurgitate what they see on television. Often people who have the condition themselves recognize it in others. I've seen more than one post where someone has suggested an illness to a person, and they've looked into it further. There was one here in AITA that turned out they had PCOS recently. People from all walks of life are on Reddit. You would make a brilliant data scientist. Have you thought about that as a possible career choice? I said the same thing. I'm a data scientist, and everyone I work with has this kind of natural curiosity towards data trends. I'm glad you talked to your friends. Personally, I think it was a nah situation. This is something I'd totally do and wouldn't think twice about it. Because research is interesting. I suggest you look into psychology, sociology, or maybe even archaeology if you plan to go to college. You seem tailor-made for academia. And I say nah because I can also understand why someone might be confused why their good friend was keeping data on them without ever being told. No one right or wrong, just people establishing new boundaries and learning more about each other. This is a happy story. I just want to echo the nah. Out of context, it's a strange habit, but it's super understandable. In my opinion, it's similar to journaling. Someone wouldn't be in butthole for writing their private thoughts in a journal about their friends, even if they included specific things about the friend. And I agree with you that I think this is an example of a very cool skill set that the original poster has almost accidentally developed. People's reactions to the original post are the reason I pretend not to remember things people have told me. I tend to remember personal details very well, and I worry that people will think I'm a different kind of weirdo than I really am. Original poster. If you like keeping track of outfits, have you tried keeping track of your own? There's an app called Stylebook that allows uploading photos of all your clothing and then create outfits. There's a calendar feature that allows you to track which days you wore each outfit. You can also enter how much each piece costs, and it gives you a cost per wear metric. Seems you like data, and maybe you can apply it to yourself. Edit. Thanks for the award. Original poster replies. Oh my gosh, that's such a cool app. I'll have to check it out. Thank you. Hey original poster. That's so great that your friends were understanding. I highly recommend doing some research on mental/behavioral disorders, as this really sounds like neurodivergency. This could also be severe ADHD. ADHD in general is very similar to ASD, but with some differences, anxiety, or something similar. There's nothing wrong with having something like this, and you certainly do not need to be diagnosed to identify with anything in particular for that research to help you. There's a lot of people who will tell you that self-diagnosing is bad, and it's true that you shouldn't completely restructure your life surrounding something a professional hasn't told you you have. However, if you find something that you think you may have and the recommendations for changes to help accommodate that help you, it is very good to use those. Good luck. This is a great update. Original poster replies. Oh, I can help you with that. Most people don't repeat their outfits in the first week or couple weeks of school, probably because they're trying to make good impressions. Original poster replies. After that, it's pretty normal to wear the same outfit once a week now and then. When it's cold out, it's okay to wear the same jacket or coat often, every day, even. Most people repeat the same pants and shoes a lot, but change their shirts. Fancy clothes, like dresses, don't get repeated too much. Jewelry does. My grandma wears the same necklace all the time, and my parents are always wearing their rings. Are you a bed? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.